Predictive Project Management Definitions for PMP and CAPM exam. Acceptance criteria, conditions required for deliverables to be accepted. Accepted deliverables, products, results validated by project customer, sponsors. Accuracy, assessment of correctness within quality management system. Acquire resources, obtaining necessary resources to complete project work. Activity, scheduled portion of work during a project. Activity duration, time between start and finish of a schedule activity. Activity list, documented tabulation of schedule activities. Adaptive lifecycle, iterative or incremental project lifecycle. Agreements, documents or communication defining project intentions. Alternative analysis, technique to evaluate options for project execution. Analogous estimating, estimating using historical data from similar activities, projects. Analytical techniques, techniques to evaluate, analyze, or forecast outcomes. Assumption, factor considered true without proof in planning process. Attribute sampling, measuring quality by noting presence, absence of characteristics. Authority, right to apply project resources, make decisions or approvals. Backward pass, technique to calculate late start, finish dates. Bar chart, graphic display of schedule-related information. Baseline, approved version of work product used as basis for comparison. Basis of estimates, supporting documentation outlining project estimates. Benchmarking, comparison of products, processes, practices to identify best practices. Benefits management plan, documented explanation of creating, maximizing, and sustaining project benefits. Bid documents, documents to solicit information, proposals from prospective sellers. Bidder conference, meetings with prospective sellers prior to bid preparation. Bottom-up estimating, estimating by aggregating lower-level WBS components. Budget, approved estimate for project, WBS component, schedule activity. Budget at completion, BAC, sum of all budgets established for work to be performed. Business case, economic feasibility study to establish validity of benefits. Business value, the quantifiable or intangible benefits that a project or program delivers to its stakeholders. Cause and effect diagram, decomposition technique for root cause analysis. Change, modification to project plan, deliverable, or document. Change control, process to identify, document, and approve project modifications. Change Control Board, CCB, group responsible for approving project changes. Change control system, procedures for managing project modifications and documentation. Change control tools, manual or automated tools for change management. Change log, list of project changes and their status. Change management plan, component of project plan for change control. Change request, formal proposal to modify a project element. Charter, a document that authorizes a project or phase and identifies the PM. Checklist analysis, systematic review using a checklist. Check sheets, tally sheet used for data gathering. Claim, request for consideration or compensation under contract terms. Claims administration, processing and communication of contract claims. Close project or phase, finalizing activities for project, phase, or contract. Closing process group, processes to formally close a project or phase. Code of accounts, numbering system for work breakdown structure components. Collect requirements, determine and document stakeholder needs. Colocation, project team physically located near each other. Communication methods, procedure to transfer information among stakeholders. Communication models, representation of communication process. Communication requirements analysis, analytical technique to determine stakeholder information needs. Communications management plan, plan for administering and disseminating project information. Communication styles assessment, technique to identify preferred communication method and content. Communication technology, tools for transferring information among stakeholders. Conduct procurements, obtain seller responses and award contracts. Configuration management plan, plan for managing and accounting for project artifacts. Configuration management system, procedures for tracking project artifacts and changes. Conformance, meeting acceptable variation for quality requirement. Constraint, limiting factor affecting project execution. Context diagrams, visual depiction of data flowing through a business system. Contingency, event or occurrence that may affect project execution. Contingency reserve, time or money allocated for known risks. Contingent response strategies, responses to specific triggers. Contract, mutually binding agreement between seller and buyer. Contract change control system, system for collecting, tracking, and communicating contract changes. Control, comparing actual with planned performance and recommending corrective action. Control account, management control point for scope, budget, cost, and schedule. Control chart, graphic display of process data against control limits. Control costs, monitoring project status and managing cost changes. Control limits, area composed of 3 standard deviations on either side of the center line or mean of data distribution. Control procurements, managing procurement relationships and contract performance. Control quality, monitoring and recording quality management results. Control resources, ensuring physical resources are available and monitoring utilization. Control schedule, monitoring project status and managing schedule changes. Control scope, monitoring project and product scope and managing changes. Corrective action, intentional activity realigning project work with plan. Cost aggregation, summing cost estimates for work packages or cost control account. Cost baseline, approved time-phased project budget for comparison to actual results. Cost-benefit analysis, financial tool to compare project benefits with costs. Cost management plan, component of project plan for managing costs. Cost of quality, COQ, costs for preventing, appraising, and failing to meet quality requirements. Cost Performance Index, CPI, measure of cost efficiency of budgeted resources. Cost plus award fee contract, CPAF, payments for completed work and seller profit. Cost plus fixed fee contract, CPFF, reimbursement for allowable costs and fixed profit. Cost plus incentive fee contract, CPIF, reimbursement for allowable costs and seller profit based on performance criteria. Cost reimbursable contract, payment to seller for actual costs and fee. Cost variance, CV, budget deficit or surplus at given point in time. Crashing, a technique used to shorten the schedule duration for the least incremental cost by adding resources. Critical chain method, CCM, a schedule network analysis technique that modifies the project schedule to account for limited resources and uncertainty, by adding buffers to protect the project completion date. Critical path, the sequence of activities that represents the longest path through a project, which determines the shortest possible duration. Critical path activity, any activity on the critical path in a project schedule. Critical path method, CPM, a method used to estimate the minimum project duration and determine the amount of schedule flexibility on the logical network paths within the schedule model. Cumulative cost curve, A graph of cumulative costs plotted against time. Cumulative frequency diagram. A chart showing the cumulative frequency of observations in successive intervals of a variable. Customer. The person or organization that will use the project's product or service. Customer acceptance. Formal notification that the deliverables submitted by the project satisfies the acceptance criteria and that the deliverables is accepted by the customer. Customer satisfaction. A term used to describe how well the project's product met the customer's requirements and expectations. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.